that it's such a misconception, and we're so in tune with kind of the prohibitions that we hear here. The church is not so much a big no about sex. The church really is a big wow. Sexuality, sex is such a blessing, such an awesome reality, such a gift from God, and the church has incredible respect and awe for that gift. But it just gets misunderstood or miscommunicated because we're trying to avoid some of the pitfalls along the way. But it leads us not to appreciate the gift that it is, or throw ourselves or allow ourselves to appreciate the joy that the church wants us to have and knows that our sexuality can bring to our relationship.
Actually, the church's teaching is one of awe, not just for sex and sexuality, for masculine and feminine personhood, but also for conjugal love. Because we really believe that the love between a husband and wife is the closest thing to Christ's love for the church. And that when we intentionally love each other that way, that we really manifest that presence. So there's this awe that there's a real presence, in the love between a husband and wife. It's like the real presence in the Eucharist. So it's definitely not dour or negative. It actually ups the bar. And encourages us, to give ourselves completely to each other sexually.
See, like in so many things, the church holds out a vision, wants the best. The church wants the best for us. And it knows that, if we settle for less, we won't experience the ultimate good that's possible. And so it encourages us not to settle for less, but to go for the best.
For me, it's been that inspiration from the church that actually has made me sexier. It's true, okay, and once I understood that when I gave my body to Ronnie, it was a sign of Christ giving his body on the cross and in the Eucharist, well, then I was more eager to do that. I also felt that sense of being sent by God to communicate his messages to Ron while we make love, right? And that those messages of I'm yours and you are mine and I want to be one with you are God's messages. It really invited God into the bedroom in an awesome way. And I know at first blush, anybody listening is saying, is she talking about praying while she makes love? It sounds so weird, right? I mean, some blokes, I'm sure, pray for sex, but that's a different kind of prayer. Okay, yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, but I am talking about being fueled with this desire to give myself, to Ronnie, because it does reveal and reflect and manifest Christ's self-giving. Right.
So it's almost like sex itself is a prayer.
Absolutely.
It certainly becomes a prayer when you realize that your sexuality is a gift from God. That God desires us to be filled with each other's, the goodness and awareness of each other's goodness, and most especially that we have the potential to give ourselves away in love. It's that it connects us with God's total life-giving, generous gift of self. We can be that for each other, and we can experience and participate in God's love in that way and bring God's love to each other through our sexuality and our love-making.
We have a crucifix over our bed. That's a custom. I think it was an old world European custom, the marriage bed crucifix. And people sort of lost touch with what the meaning of that was. It was just a wall decoration, kind of thing. But it really was there because couples are a permanent reminder to the church of what happened on the cross, which was very fleshy, where Christ gave his body, right? That doesn't mean that marriage is supposed to be torture, by the way, okay? But it does mean that, and so when I approach, actually we moved ours from over the bed to the far wall, because I kind of like when I come into the room, I look at that and I say to myself, this is my body given for you. And it just, it really motivates me to be generous.